I think this is part 3. I take these takes. Okay. I want to discuss things. It's my Rev.Ronald French channel. It's going to be on Access Sanctuary Chapel's site, because it's going to be dealing with something of a touchy nature. But it has to be my point of view of it, not my church's. Because I don't hide behind my church. If I'm going to be an asshole, it's going to be me. Alright. Okay, I'm at Facebook. I'm being poked. Stop poking. Okay. I'm over here. I did a thing on a nice little article. I posted it up, let people know what's going on. It's the Summer Solstice Pagan Festival has Pahokee residents outraged. The Pahokee Resort, I think it's called. Let me see here. It's going to be held at June 19th to June 23rd at the Lake Okeechobee Resort at the Marina in Pahokee. And a bunch of people are pissed off about it. We can't expect our city to survive and prosper as we allow these things. A pastor so-and-so from the Harlem Church of God and evangelists of saints on the move. We cannot heal our land if we allow witches and warlocks violating our community. It sounds like the community is being sodomized by a witch or a warlock or some bullshit. The pastor Jorge Chavera of the Hispanic Nazarene Church, through an interpreter, of course, to unite against the festival, he invited everyone to join his church on Friday. Now, let me explain something to you guys before you get all fucking worked up and panties in a bunch. Do your homework. This is just a general consensus. I did a wiki on Pahokee, Florida. Now, when I used to work for the Department of Juvenile Justice, we used to, transport juvenile prisoners. And we used to joke about the Pahokee being Po. How Po? Let me explain how Po. It's a southern expression for being poverty or poor. Basically, you're looking at a population, no lie. Back in 2000, it was 5,900 and change. In 2007, the population was 6,400 and change. This is 2013. So if you figure, if you're looking at 5,900 and 6,500 roughly, so you're looking at 600 people for every span of time. Just doing the math off the top of my head real fucking quick. Maybe 7,200 people live there. Now, out of the 7,200 people there, figuratively speaking, I did a church search. Yeah, I went to Google Maps after I wrote down churches near Pahokee, Florida. Or churches of Pahokee, Florida. Now, initially I saw some crazy fucking thing. It was like 2,000 something, and I was like, no way, And in reality, I think it was more in the second reading I got, which was 56. Now, it sounds a lot, but if you're a church of 20 or 30 people, that's all you got. You're not going to make a church. I mean, if Joel Osteen decided to protest you, I'd worry, because that's 20, 30,000 people showing up at your fucking place saying, it ain't happening. Irony, Joel's a nice guy. So, anyways, you got all these little crackerheads over here protesting and getting all pissed off about this stupid little thing over here, and they're all mad, and, witches and warlocks are going to be showing up and it's causing drama. Okay, well, these little peckerwoods can go away. Now, when you look at the stats, 7,500 people roughly, figuratively speaking, with 56 churches, what actual populace actually goes to church? It's usually the lower percentile, meaning you probably get 10% of the whole population, figuratively speaking, going to churches at 50 different churches. So some churches are bigger, some are smaller. Fine. And a lot of them aren't going to bother with you. The Catholics aren't going to look at you. The Mormons aren't going to look at you. Yeah, I mean, you just go down the list, and it's like a small dozen of the Looney Tunes that are there. They're the ones going to bother with you. Now, you had a guy, I just quoted a guy through an interpreter, meaning he didn't speak an ounce of English at all, was trying to get everybody to join together in his church. What's the problem with that? When you have 50 other churches that are all apex churches, they want to be the leader of their own little thing, right? What does that mean? It means they can't work together. They won't work together. And if they try, wonderful. Now you got a language barrier to work with. See, set up for fail right off the bat. Gracias, Padre. So, there you have it there. Like I said, you just do a little research, a little objectivity. You know, I did my post on it to let people know what's going on. And also to advertise out this fucking place happening. And maybe people from across the state want to go and do a little carpool, a little get together and show up. Hell, bring a tent and some barbecue. And have a good weekend over there, right? Why not? You spend a day or spend a weekend. They got all kinds of stuff. Now, the fun part is, we have, okay, but the funny part is, you got people or persons going there who are, okay, I'm going to quote this article. Many residents question how the city officials could allow the festival to come to town without citizens' knowledge, and how the Marina director, Wayne Gray, could be allowed to book such an event. It's his job to bring in the fucking money. It's his job to book the place. And the funny part is, if they didn't know about the witches, they didn't know about the other shit he's done. Like, he proclaimed that he donated the place to a couple of other people to promote them, because he was being altruistic that moment, I guess. You know, and the funny part is, here's the other one. Okay, I spoke with Mr. Gray regarding the festival, and he stated that any religious organizations would like to rent the marina for a festival, they are more than welcome to do so. He's open up to the whole place. They just object to the fact that witches and warlocks and pagans and, you know, oh my, are showing up. Well, fuck them. If that's that important for them to have it, book it. And that's the thing. They're all talk, no walk. They just want to piss and moan. You know, I can't legally stop Mr. Gray from allowing this event, but I also cannot stop the community from protesting it, says the mayor, Colin Wilkes. Which is true. This is where things get kind of heated up in Access Sanctuary and Chapel's group. Because a lot of people got, you know, getting a little huffy and puffy about things. You know, they want to create a game called, you know, Whack a Christian. You know, bad Christian. You know, I'm joking about that. You know, it was my creation. But when you look at, you know, it's a revenue generator. If you got a population. Now, here's nothing, guys. Don't get all pissed off at me or the Christians. I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you. Please stick with me on this one. This is funny. Very funny. Let's go back to Wiki. They do a thing called a census. Okay. I don't make a whole lot of money. I'm a full-time student right now. I plan on making some big cash later. The median income for a household in a city was $26,000. The average male makes about 28, and the female makes 20. So you think about a family making about 50 grand a year. And the population is 7,000 people. I'm not going to worry about some fucking people burning up their time. The people that are going to protest you are going to be either super religious, elderly, or unemployed. There you have it. Yeah. 39.9% of those are under 18. 32% are those over 65. These are the stats. And they're a little bit old stats, but they give you an idea. Okay? 72% of the population spoke only English at home, while those who spoke Spanish made up 26%. So, a population of 7,000 people, break it down. 18 to 2,300 people won't understand. No comprende. Ay, 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 magica. You got it. So, Christian evangelists who are Spanish, they might get spooked out about shit, but they're not going to have that much intestinal fortitude to protest you. I've yet to see one that does. Being very stereotypical, but I'll tell you what. I've had an evangelist come after me on the internet. I wouldn't even call this church and he wouldn't talk to me. No nutsacks. These guys here are full of hot air. That's the fun part about dealing with knowing your enemies. You know, are they really the enemy? No, they're just a bunch of Looney Tunes trying to make money off the populace. But these are the stats. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm looking at. Yeah, what was it? 1,710 households. 44% had children under the age of 18. 46% were married couples living together. 28% had a female household with no husband present. And 22% were not families. 18% of households were made up of individuals, and 6.4% were someone living alone who was 65 years or older. Okay. So, this is what you're looking at for stats. You're looking at people who make under $30,000 a year independently and under $50,000 collectively. You're dealing with people who, according to the article, a streamline of pouring of churches. But look look at who the churches are. You got a Spanish guy, who had to go through an interpreter to a predominantly English-speaking area. Not being racist, I'm just stating the facts. Okay, you got someone out there called Saints on the Move, an evangelist. Well, again, no Joel Osteen. You're not going to have 20,000 members knocking at your door. Okay, you got the Harlem Church of God. You got... Who the fuck are these people? Low-end fucking churches. There you have it. Low-end churches for a low-end populace. You're not going to have too much issues with the poor people of Pahokee. So, when I have people in my group go off and they get in an uproar about what's going on, well, it's their right to protest. But understand who's protesting you. Kind of like a guy in the dumpster yelling at you because you ignored him. And that's his house. That kind of shit. So I understand where you're going. I understand the people there. And quite frankly, don't worry about it. I had a person out there. I was over at the Golden Corral Veterans Day. They gave veterans a free dinner. I happen to be a veteran. Hell, I went in twice. And the funny part is, I had a lady come up to me. She said, "Hey, I want to pray for you." Now, if you belong to a dichotomy, a belief system of right and wrong, good and bad, light and dark, evil and good, those are your guidelines. These are your structures. So if I said yes, we'll pray together probably, right? Jesus loves you. And if you say, fuck you, no way, or go away, I don't want to listen to you, what are they going to do? Yeah, that's right. I'll pray for you anyway. Now, introduce something to somebody who's not used to those two things, and you'll get what I got. I said, "Ma'am, quite frankly, I don't give a damn what you do." And I got up and I went in my line and I went to get dinner. Her eyes shot out of her head, her mouth was open. Did not know how to handle my response. It was either yes or no. And I didn't give a shit. Bottom line about this whole fucking drama about this solstice thing. For one thing, it only became an uproar because someone in a place rented it out to the Pagan Festival. And secondly, what do you call? There's generating revenue, and they're anticipating over 1,000 people showing up of a town that's populous of 7,000. So all these churches are coming in huffing and puffing and knock your socks off or down, you're probably going to see no more than 50 or 70 people. And if you got 1,000 people showing up, I'm sure as hell I'm not going to be intimidated by that. Are you? So, exactly. Again, if it was a Joel Osteen's church, there's 20, 30,000 people that might protest your ass. But, you know, that's not his church. It's not happening. So these are your stats. These are your things. So when you got people there and they're going to say things like crazy shit things, you know, I hate to say this, I really do. Be the better person. Walk by. Ignore them. They can't do anything to you unless they want to be faced with a hate crime. Why do I say that? I had to do part 3 because part 2 was the tangent about hate crime. Hate crime is a crime against you based on your ethnicity, your origins, your religious beliefs. So already people have publicly denounced that they don't want you there. Any form or affiliate thereof causes you harm or pain being there, or even violate your civil rights in doing so, are subjugated to the Federal Hate Crime Act. Food for thought. But I'm not going to instigate any further. Or am I? But use your mind. I know, emotionally, you know, grab a stick and play Whack-A-Christian. Nah, don't. Go off, do your thing. The best vengeance on this is to actually have a good time. You know, if I have the ability to go myself, I might bring in my tent. Yeah, stick. No stick. No, but you know what I'm saying. Go off, have a good time, have, you know, be watchful of your surroundings, and enjoy yourself. The people there are more afraid of you because they're afraid of the spaghetti monster in the sky and the submarine sandwich underneath their bed. And those are the people who, no lie, you could probably burp and fart and scare them out of the park because they have no clue, you know, what to expect from you. And it's true. They're so fucking wound up. That's the kind of people they are. So don't worry about it. And let them do what they do. It's, you know, this organization, whoever that is, they went off and rented out the place. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. They rented out a place from the county. And it's always being rented out before. It's just a handful of people decided to grandstand on their soapbox saying, well, we don't like witches. Well, who gives a shit? Well, the witches and pagans might do. Well, you know what? It's their right to protest you. But you know what? Now they made the public proclamation that they're out to get you, or they're out to do things, not to get you, but, you know, protest you. Well, fine. And if they're quoting, quote unquote, you know, we're opening ourselves up to things we should not, like belly dancing and magic spells. Okay, fine. So, anytime you have, if you have a problem with a congregation or a church member, that person, whoever spoke for that church, and these are all pastors, are going to be responsible for their actions. Anything that happens to you that violates your rights to partake in any ceremonies and whatnot, it's now a hate crime. That's the beauty of it all. If anything, if I were these people who are going to the Pagan Fest, or who actually rented it, I'd start digging around with some ACLU attorneys and have them come in for a party and have a guest tent ready. And then start taking out the churches left and right in lawsuits. Make a buck. So that's my way of having fun with it. Yeah, enjoy the surroundings, enjoy the people, embrace, you know, the kinship of nature. And second, some asshat wants to fuck with you, that's fine. 6 weeks later, subpoena's going to be served, and you can have fun in court telling them how they fucked up. You see, this is my imagery, my projection. This is how I see things. Because at that point, you smile just a little extra large. You just smile a little more because you know what's going to happen if anything else was to happen. The reality is, more likely, nothing will happen. You might have a few people, a few signs, and then the rest of the day is yours. So don't bear them any mind. Don't feed the fire. enjoy yourselves. You know, be the better person. I know hearing it from me might be a little weird for those who know who I am. But yeah, be the better person and put knowledge underneath your belt. Study the fucking place you're going to. Study the stats. Study everything about the place and realize what you're really up against. And chances are it's nothing more than yourself, because those people can't do a damn thing for themselves anyway. So enjoy yourselves at the solstice if you're going. I don't know if I'm going or not, but if I am, I assure you I'll be bringing my camera. Take care, and bye for now.